Meanwhile, the country he visited, China, is working on implementing a new class system. And to best understand it, let's start with what's happening in India. In this country, many have complained about Aadhaar, the national unique identity that uses biometric details in a database of residents. The allegation by the critics here in India is that Aadhaar breaches a citizen's privacy. But having a unique ID is nothing compared to what's happening in China. Imagine a system that's the mother of all surveillance, a system that constantly monitors and evaluates you. You're under watch 24/7 and you're being graded for your behavior. China's social credit system is going to be a reality soon. Take a look at this.
What you eat, what you buy, where you go. China is going a step ahead, tracking citizens' movements, behavior, and actions on a daily basis. And Beijing is giving citizens scores based on that. But an interesting question is, how will China evaluate the good, the bad, and the ugly? How will it rank its own citizens? For instance, citizens would earn a low rating for spreading false information, for causing trouble on a flight, for using expired tickets on public transport, obstructing footpaths with electric bikes, smoking on trains, or for failing to pay social insurance and fines. But citizens can also earn good points by doing things such as charity works, separating and recycling rubbish, protecting the environment, and donating blood. And the overall score is connected to citizens' identification card number, which will then be used to either reward or punish them. Chinese citizens who score low on the country's newly designed social ranking system will face unpleasant consequences. The country says it will first ban people with poor score from flights and trains, which means initially people with a low score on the social credit scale will be stopped from taking planes and trains for up to a year. China is now openly talking about the social credit system and travel restrictions, but trials have been taking place across China's provinces for quite some time, and under a pilot scheme, over 12 million people in the country have already been slapped with domestic travel bans for bad behavior. And the penalty doesn't end here. Citizens can also be blacklisted based on their trust score. And as we know that publishing the details of blacklisted citizens online is a common practice in China. But there is an upside to the system as well. There are rewards for those who comply by the social rules and norms and earn a good score. For instance, citizens with good social credit scores can enjoy free gym facilities, cheaper public transport, and shorter wait times in hospitals. What else? Alibaba's car vending machine in China has announced it will give free test drives to people with good credit scores. The new rules of the social credit system will come into effect from May 1st, and the country will keep on revising them. China is planning to implement the social credit system fully by 2020. While the system might look promising, but the fear is that it could be used to push the government's agenda and to suppress dissent. We wonder what's next in China. Bureau Report, WION.
China's new credit score system is frightening, to say the least. Yes, it does push the people of the country to be model citizens, but at what cost? The kind of company you keep, the purchases you make, the websites you visit, the time you spend on these websites, all these factors will determine what score you get, and that is the scary part. What is wrong with the system is that it could also dangerously destroy someone's life. The new system could potentially be used to push the government's agenda and to crack down on dissent. Another concern with such a system is, how do you quantify trustworthiness and responsibility of an individual? What if you miss paying a bill because you were in the hospital? What if you spend too much time on a website that the agencies think deserves a low rating for a research project at school? There are no easy answers. The system gives way too much social control in the hands of one, risking massive abuse of power. Those in positions of power could easily circumvent the existing norms and still maintain a good score. The system also believes in public shaming of blacklisted citizens. China is one of the first countries to explore such a system. We haven't heard of something like this anywhere else in the world, because China holds a cultural, the system holds a cultural meaning in China. The Chinese notion of credit relates to moral ideas of honesty and trust. Hence the emphasis on judging one's social behavior before deciding where they stand in the food chain.